Mm-hmm. Hey everybody, what's up? How you doing out there? Come in. We are live. We got something special for you today. I have a familiar face and an unfamiliar face. So I'm going to introduce my people that I have with us today. We are going to talk about something. We want you guys to share this. And if we're talking about something that, you know, just strikes a nerve, you think of somebody who needs this conversation in their life to help bring the necessary change in their life. That's what we are all about. Like, we want to change lives. You know what I'm saying? So please share with those people. Today I have a special guest with me. Her name is Derica. This is my cousin, y'all.
Literally.
Yeah. We've been playing cousins for years.
Literally.
But now we cousins for real, for real. What's your last name? Oh, yeah, go ahead. You said I was gonna mess it up.
It's Derica Willoughby.
Yeah, Willoughby. Amen. Girl, I was about to give you all the other Hicks,
Bless
Lavals,
it.
all
Nope,
them.
not me.
Yes. So we got Derica with us, and we have my brother Prince again. Like, this is just like my new sidekick. I love you so much.
It is so nice to be here.
Yeah. So you guys, like, we're you know how I am. I like to jump right into our conversations. We're going to talk about addiction. Okay. We had another guest, but we're going to bring her in on another time because she was going to be just the icing on the cake, but we're going to do that another time. But we're going to talk about addiction and, you know, just being raised as a pastor's kid, sometimes in the forefront, ministering all the time. A lot of times when we begin to share, people be really surprised that, oh, you got family that went through that. You got family that has those type of addictions or whatever. Well, yeah, you know, because you guys are human. People are human. And the addictions that we are going to talk about today is one is a gambling addiction and the other is a food addiction. We talk about a lot of things in the church. You know, when we think about addiction, a lot of times in the church, we a lot of times focus on just sexual addiction, pornography, and things like that. You know, drugs, crack, you know, crack addiction. But I think that one of the worst addictions that we have in the church is a food addiction, to be honest, because it shows that how such of a lack of self-control that we have, and the Bible tells us that we have to have that. The other addiction, like when I think about Las Vegas, like we have seen families torn apart and ruined from a gambling addiction. I've actually had dealings or have dealt with someone who's had that type of addiction, and in my experience, it is the worst. It is like, for me, it's like, you know how they say, like, you have a gateway drug? It's like an open door to every other bad thing that's out there, because it opens to, for me, in my experience, it opens the door for drugs, drinking, prostitution, suicide, lying, you know, just, it's just everything bad is connected to gambling to me. Prince, like, what do you feel about what I just said?
No, that's true, because slowly I was like breaking my marriage down, you know, and my wife, she just she stopped saying stop, you know,
Jesus.
and she just kind of dealt with it. I had a different excuse every time, like, you know, and some days I came home with a pocket full of cash, and the other days I came home with nothing. Now I gotta borrow money from friends or my dad or my mother to pay the bills I was supposed to pay with the money that I used to gamble with.
So I want to stop you there before we get too deep into the results. Can you talk about how did it start? Like how like you was raised in the church. You was raised with a dad who didn't even go in casinos or allow us to go in casinos. Like we didn't even, when we moved out here, we did not even eat in the casinos. Like we started, and then my dad said the Holy Spirit, he has so many dreams where just real quick, the Holy Spirit was like, you can't go in casinos. And he
and I think
stopped. He had that conviction. And so,
No, I think it was like if you let him tell a story, I think it was something like we were in the casino eating, and then all the lights went off.
Yeah,
in the
I
casino.
remember.
And I think that
one light came up.
one light came up, and,
and
it
his
said-
name
and his
went
name,
across
Prince.
the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. And then he had a dream. I was not just not trying to get into it, but
Yeah.
he had an encounter. He had an encounter with God where the Lord was like, this is what I want for you. And he put that same conviction upon us. You know, not conviction, but he didn't allow, because we're his children, he didn't allow us to go in. So we're just coming up with that, and then you end up with an actual gambling addiction. Can you please tell me, how did that start?
I feel like it's hard not to do in Vegas.
Okay.
Because that's the only entertainment is in casinos. But besides that, I think that it roots from our father being strict, and I feel like me personally, I had an authority issue. So when dad says don't go to casinos or don't do this, don't do that, you know, when someone tells you not to do something, it makes you want
to do it.
to do it. So when I was introduced to it, the very first time I was introduced to it, I lost my money and I never went to do it ever again.
So when you were introduced to it, what game was that, if you don't mind me
That was
asking?
blackjack. Yeah. And I didn't really know what I was doing. So when I lost, I was like, I'm never doing this ever again.
Exactly.
Because I don't like losing money. I was introduced to craps, dice. And that seemed more fun because there's so many ways on the table you can make money, so many numbers you can bet on. And I won a lot of money doing it. I lost money, but I won money. So in my mind, I know I can win. I can still win. Even though I may lose, I can still win. So that's in the back of my mind. Like, I can go to the casino literally every day, lose 5 days straight, and I'm going to come back that sixth day because I know I can win.
So at what point, so now it went from fun to just now it's something that I'm doing every day, because now there's this rush that you're getting, obviously, right? And so, you know, at what point did you realize, in the beginning, did you realize that it was becoming an addiction, or it could be addiction, or like?
I was blind to the fact of it being an addiction or not being an addiction. I didn't even look in that direction. So I didn't want to, if it was an addiction, I didn't want to admit that it was, because then I have to face the admission.
Have you ever heard of somebody having a gambling addiction before you start doing this?
No.
Wow. What about you? So if we're talking about, you know, addiction, and hearing about somebody having an addiction, did you know that food was an addiction before you realized, like?
No way. That never crossed my mind, because, like, even how you said with the church, like, what do we do when we leave church? We go to eat. Like, it's just like eating was just like the norm. I never would have thought, oh, I'm going to be addicted to this. Oh, I can't stop doing this. Never crossed my mind, ever.
At what point did you realize that that your eating was an addiction? Can you go back? I don't know.
It's so crazy because I did not realize that my eating was an addiction until I stepped on the scale at the doctor's office, November 2023, and it said 300 pounds.
Wow.
I was just like, and I was still in denial then, but it's so crazy because my body, our body talks. It tells us what's wrong when it's wrong. Like, I had so many signs and so many just like red flags telling me, okay, something is wrong. But when the doctor was just like, you have to make a change or you're not going to be able to live the next 10 years. And mind you, at the time I was 31, I was just turning 31 and I stepped on the scale. I was 300 pounds. And I did not start my weight loss journey until March 2024. And I gained 15 more pounds after that. So I was 315 pounds.
What? So you were 315 pounds, and we're about the same height.
Bless it.
Okay, fine. I'm
We are.
5'2". Fine. So for like, I understand that because I am short. You know,
Yeah.
people say I have a tall demeanor. Y'all know what that means?
And do.
That means I look like I'm supposed to be tall until I
Right.
stand up, and they be like,
Very
"Dang,
much
girl."
You like Tom Cruise.
I have
You
a
saw
tall,
him
I
in
have a
movies
tall
and then we see
demeanor.
you in person.
Yeah, and
Midget
so
status.
so when I have babies and I gain this weight, I'm so frustrated because I'm short, I'm busty, I'm backy, I'm booty, I'm everything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, this is not okay. You know what I'm saying? And then when I buy larger clothes, I'm short, so they fit me around, but they don't fit me down. I just
So then you
hate
built like a
it.
trash bag.
It's like, why God do this to me? You know?
That's
But
me.
but real talk. So, you know, you said that you know, that was kind of a wake up call for you.
Right.
That was kind of a wake up call.
But back to you, what you said about you being busty, boot like that, like
Backy, booty.
believe it or not, like I had major chronic back pain, but it didn't awaken me and be like, oh, this is because of your weight. I kept blaming it on the epidural.
Wow.
That I kept blaming it on that, and can you believe I lost all that weight, no back pain at all, and then and then also too,
You stupid. This is funny.
but then also too, with just like walking in grocery stores and malls, I could not do. By November 2023, I would be able, like walking throughout fashion show, I would just hit the escalator and I'm already tired. But that wasn't, girl, I'm gonna get up and walk. Look,
I'm not even trying to. She'd be on the, I'm thinking you talking about you about to walk somewhere. You said I hit the escalator and I'm tired. I'm done. Help her.
no way.
Help.
No, but it's true.
I
It's
hear
funny
you.
now, but
Oh
when I
my
like
gosh.
think back, I was just like,
This
were
is-
you blind? Like, are you cool?
So you see all of these things happening.
Yeah.
There's a breakdown that is happening. There is God trying to get your attention, your body
Yes.
trying to get your attention.
Yes.
Prince, as you are listening to her story about just where food was taking her, are you hearing any similarities of just the breakdown of when you're like continuing to do something and it's like, I don't know, is there a wake up call? They're like, what's happening? You know, because I'm going back to what you said, where now I'm going to the crap table every day. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm going there, and so it's like, at what point, like, what happened?
There's really no wake up call because it's like
So the wake up call is not your wife, your family, like you losing, you having to borrow money.
you don't really see that. Like
Jesus.
gambling is like it blocks your vision.
Oh my God.
You know, just like any other addiction, it blocks your vision. You can't see the future. You can only see what's going on right then,
In that
and you don't even realize that it's an insecurity in you, because you ask, just like when it comes to food, it's like, why are you eating so much? It is an insecurity.
Yes.
Why are you gambling? It's an insecurity. What are you insecure about? I don't want to be broke, so I'm
Yep.
trying to win as much money as I
there it
can.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? And then it turns into something else. So before I went to prison, gambling was such an addiction, and I knew it was because I didn't care if I lost the money.
Wow.
I just needed to
never heard
gamble.
that
I needed
before.
that rush.
Okay.
So when I stopped gambling and then I started back gambling again, I had to build a strategy. So since I knew what it felt like to lose and I didn't want it to take me back there, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to let it become an addiction again. I'm just going to control it. I thought I could control it. So I had to build a strategy in order not to lose as much. and I had to come with a certain amount of money that I was willing to lose. You know what I'm saying?
So what happens is, we know, like, when someone is addicted to something, it causes them, like, there's something in there that causes you to start hiding what you're doing, you know, especially if you have a family. You start lying. Were any of those things happening? Were you hiding? Were you lying? Were you supposed to be somewhere at a certain time and didn't show up and told a lie? Was these things starting to happen or no?
Oh, I was definitely lying. But I don't know, my lying is more like just being dishonest.
That is lying.
What's going on? Bless him. Is he still lying?
No, it's like this. So if you say, you know, you have on like if I had purple shoes on yesterday, you said, didn't you have purple shoes on yesterday? And I had them on, but you trying to figure that out, and I'm like, why would I have purple shoes on yesterday?
Yeah, asking a question with a question.
Yeah,
so
it's like that
so
kind of lie.
not answering the question,
right,
just
Still a lie.
lying. You know, just
Still a lie.
It's basically trying to
hiding.
deceive you. So
yeah, trying to just be
Yeah.
deceitful.
So, but it was technically like, for an example, I have bill money. I got to pay, say, my car note, but I'm going to try to go double that. I lose it. Now I got to ask somebody to borrow that money to actually pay my car note. You know what I'm
And
saying?
then, but now you got to pay that person back. So how are you getting the money to pay that person back when you told them, hey, I got you in a couple days because my check just didn't clear because we lying. Hey, I got you in like 3-4 days or whatever the case may be. I'm going to give you this back. So then now.
I was working.
Okay.
Yeah, so now I gotta work to pay you your money back, but then that money that I'm paying you back is supposed to go to a different bill. So now I'm just getting further
Deeper and deeper into the hole. Are there any similarities that you hear?
I was just about to say yes, especially with the lying and losing money. Like, believe it or not, I went broke over food. Like, I would spend my last on food, like on snacks. It was just like, when I like think back, I like, Aria, stop it.
No,
Y'all are stupid.
This is
I
not
can't
even
stand
funny.
y'all.
Like, I know,
But it's
Prince,
serious. I mean,
It is
obviously,
serious.
obviously y'all
Nah.
can tell how big, because of how big I was, it's very clear I didn't miss a snack. Y'all shouldn't even quantify me. No, but seriously,
I never knew you was that big.
But I was Prince, like, and I was just looking back even at Sarah's baby shower in 2022. You was like making a crack about my outfit, and then I look back, I said, "Yo, like Prince, you saw me when I wasn't as heavy, but I was at least like 265."
Can we get
I
the
was
before
big.
and after? We might as well show everybody what we're talking about. That way we can put everything in context for her.
Bless it.
Wow, you look amazing. And the
Yeah.
thing is, let me tell you,
You wearing that green, though.
that you wearing that green,
That's what somebody
and
else
you
said.
have a beautiful face. You're a beautiful woman, and so sometimes people see you, it's like, oh, she pretty, like
Yeah.
whatever that's her. You know what I mean?
But believe it or not, that does not substitute health. I was dying.
Hello.
I was
For real.
on my deathbed. People didn't even know.
So you know what's crazy? You my cousin. No, and we have eaten out together on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be honest, I only see you eat salads in front of me. I'm just saying, because I mean that's what we eat salads.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm
now-
saying?
yeah.
Like we the Davis salad sandwich.
Y'all are.
Like
Yeah, with
family.
soup.
You're soup and salad. We eat salad. So, but the thing is, you were eating salad in front of us. So did you really want the salad, or was that you eating salads because we eat salads, or are you eating salads because you're trying to act like you eat like that? Like, talk to me.
No. I love salad. I always have loved salad. Salad is definitely a go-to for me. But in the dark, I went in like by myself, like Prince said before this started, like eating by yourself, eating by yourself in the dark just hits different. Like you
Tastes
so
better.
stupid. But it actually does. It really does. Like I recall, like for example, I'll have Roberto's for breakfast, like that large burrito. Like ain't no, like I can't even eat a quarter of that now. I don't even eat like that no more.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I would eat Roberto's breakfast burrito for breakfast with a large orange juice, and then I'll have a 10-piece with fries and a large drink from Wingstop for lunch, and then more food for dinner, and on top of that, snacks all day long.
And so, I mean, before we move on, I
That
just
doesn't
want to
seem
know,
like
were
a
you
lot.
ever no? But
But it
but it
is.
is.
I know, but
It
those
is.
portions, that is a lot of food, and it's a lot of salt. It's a lot of
Yes.
sugar, and then if you drinking a drink with it, like
Hello.
if you drinking juice or soda or something with every meal that you have,
Yes.
like that is
And
out
it
of
also
control.
depends on your metabolism, your
That
genes,
too.
and all of that.
That too. See, I wasn't exercising at all, and then also
Even if you're exercising,
right,
though,
it's
you
still a
cannot
lot.
eat
no,
like
you
that.
cannot, and
Yeah.
I refuse
Period.
to. I refuse
Yeah.
to eat like that anymore. So yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And so I want to ask this before we move on, but were you ever getting full? Did you get full?
I like it's so crazy because physically I did get full,
Mm-hmm.
but mentally I had to keep going.
Oh, that makes me want to cry.
Yeah, I was
'cause
just like, I
just feel
can't.
that.
I feel like it was like a void, like like kind of how Prince said it was like a rush for him gambling. It was a void I
Jesus.
was trying to stuff my
You're
insecurity.
physically full, but you're not spiritually full.
No, or
And I-
mentally. Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy because when you look at gambling, it's like you said, you were full naturally,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but mentally you wanted to keep going. So
can't
like
stop.
the times that I won money, I just had to keep going.
Yes.
I'm like, oh man, I got to keep going until I lost everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People get greedy, and even the dealers, they'll be looking. They'll see what I came with to start. They'll look, and when they see me up, they'll say, "Prince, go home."
Oh,
Oh my God.
oh, this.
They say, "Man, I love to see you win, man. Go home." And I'm like, I will. I'll go home in a second. And that second turns to another hour, and then they look back over and they shaking their head
Jesus.
because they watching me lose, and they telling me like, man, the casino, and these are dealers. They say, man, the casino will always win. It's at certain hours throughout the day they allow people to win, but they stay in business for a reason.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't. They, of course, they're not allowed to. They probably don't even know, but they're not allowed to say whatever they feel like they know. But nobody knows if there's timers on these tables, if there's magnets. Nobody knows what. But the dealers know that when you're winning, you need to go
Jesus.
because you're not going to keep winning. That's just not how the casino was designed.
Jesus.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? You just got to catch it when you catch it. But
I'm feeling so many things right now. Like we laughing, but my heart is like just stuff be triggering me. And so now that we have explained to people to our audiences, the very, what it looks like, what your gambling life looked like, you know what I'm saying? What your eating life looked like. Like you said, one thing that was sticking out was you eating in the dark. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You're doing things like this and it's showing that, instead of eating in the light, I got to see my food. You know what I'm saying?
don't
But you
want to.
eat it in the dark, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now we know that what it looks like. What was the breaking point? What was the breaking point that caused you to stop? Because the reason why we're here right now is because you want to tell people, look, I had a problem. My problem was a food addiction. My problem was a gambling addiction. I want to tell y'all this encounter that I had that woke me up and where I said, enough is enough. Enough is enough. So what was I do remember you saying that you did go to the hospital and everything, but was that the breaking point? But what was was that the ultimate breaking point for you?
No.
What did it?
I can say, I don't know if you remember, but January 2024, we did like a vision party, a prayer board party at Joanna's house.
Yeah.
And everyone's like doing their prayer boards and it's like all full and everything.
Yeah.
And it's almost like to the end of the night. And my prayer board is just like empty. I had literally like nothing on there.
Okay.
And you were like, Derica, why is your prayer board empty? Like, you know how goofy you are. You're like laughing about it. But I was like way deeper to me because just like it's empty because I feel empty.
Girl.
So it's just like we don't think about like those things. I could not find anything that could fit on my prayer board as to where I wanted to like elevate for the year, elevate to move on because I was completely like empty. But I like all I can say what really genuinely woke me up was just prayer. Like I woke up because a prayer, because like I said, I gained 15 more pounds. I did not start losing weight until like 4 months, like not even losing weight. I did not enter a gym until March 6, 2024. And the crazy part is too, is that when I did have a membership at a gym like we all do, but I was not attending that gym. So I had like probably like $200 worth of late fees. And I walked in the gym like March 5th before I started working out. And I was just like, God, like if they can't waive these late fees, I'm not going to the gym.
This.
Like I'm not paying $200 to join no gym. And the lady told me, she was like, I'll waive them. And so she waived the late fees for me and I began to work out the next day. But that's the only thing I can think back that it was because nothing was stopping me. I was addicted to just eating and I could not
said
stop.
Nothing was stopping me.
Nothing was. Nothing. That's how I know like it was a
Wow.
God that literally woke me up because I could not stop.
Wow. I heard you in a conversation. I'm sorry, Prince, real quick. I heard you in a conversation say to somebody that you bent down to tie your shoe or something.
Blessed. Yes, I could not tie my shoe, Aria. I could like normal things that we're supposed to be able to do. Even like, believe it or not, getting in and out of my car was it's starting to become difficult. It's just like I can't get in and out of my car. Prince, are you laughing? Oh,
No.
okay. Oh.
No.
I was like, I can't get in and out of my car. It's just like. Literally, when I think back, I literally remember these shoes to be exact. Actually, my feet don't went down like 3 sizes, but I got on thick socks right now, so that's why I'm wearing them.
That's
but I had to
crazy.
lift up my shoe and have my mom tie my shoe, and she tied it.
And
but
you wasn't even pregnant, girl. Bye.
Wasn't even
Prince, what was
pregnant.
you about to ask her?
No, I was gonna ask, like, was it like I'm tired of this type of situation? Like I'm just like you look at yourself and you just like I'm tired of looking this way. I'm tired of my life being inconvenient as far as like you said, like getting out the car, you know, whatever was difficult. Like was you just tired of it?
Believe it or not, I knew I was big, but I didn't know I was that big. So I can say, yes, I was tired of it, but I did not know it was to that extreme. I'm like thinking, okay, like I need to lose probably like 50 pounds or whatever. But no, I'm still on this journey because I'm trying to get down to the goal weight that I want. But yeah, I was just like, especially when I started to get, numbness in my left arm and just like pain all over. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't go on like this.
Yeah, because you started realizing, like you're saying, you get numbness and stuff. You're starting to realize that, okay, it's the reason why I feel like this is because of my eating.
Yes.
Yeah, Prince.
Wait, one more question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you changed for you, only for you?
No.
Or for who do you feel like you made this change for besides yourself?
My family, especially like my daughter, and also too, just for the kingdom. That is just I literally, when I like think back, because I am a certified personal trainer now.
Hey.
But
Yeah.
so but that
we gonna
is
get there.
that is literally just kingdom work. I just see now, like now when I see overweight people, my heart just breaks because it's just like I've been there. I know where you're at, and I did this for not only for me, for my family, but for everyone, to help people, to let them know like you are like I see you, I get you, and You don't have
understand.
to hide behind that, because a lot of people, they don't want to go to the gym. They don't want to they don't want to acknowledge that they do have an addiction.
Yeah,
too.
it's the acknowledgement. It's the knowing
and-
that you have a problem.
and
And I
that's
love
the
what you
one.
said. It's like, because you mentioned your daughter, you mentioned, your family. And one thing that I know is sometimes our habits stem from a child. How
Yes.
we eat as a child. Now, our mom, all she did was feed us vegetables. We
Yeah.
always had like 2 or 3 vegetables on a plate with meat.
Yeah.
And very rarely did we have any type of pasta or anything like that. So it was like kind of always like maybe a rice or a mashed potato or something like that.
Yes.
So so with her introducing all of those vegetables and foods and things to us at a young age, when we got older, that's what we ate. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And for me, because we wasn't like, it was 9 of us. Our dad wasn't taking us to McDonald's. Like, McDonald's was a treat. I mean, it was like probably 3 times a year at most for us, getting some McDonald's, or if we were taking a road trip or something like that.
Yeah.
And for some people, that is their every day. Like, McDonald's is their every day. Like, for us, it was literally a treat. So then when I started making my own money and I started eating more out, like stuff out, but because I was already trained to eat a certain way, I didn't eat like really full portions of anything. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it, we know now that you're, this trainer and all of the things, that it's not even just working out. It's really what we're putting inside our portion control and all of the things. So with saying that, going back to my childhood, and I'm not perfect by no means, because I already told y'all my Doritos situation that I
Yes,
had
sir.
going on. We gonna talk about that never. So anyway, so are you doing those same things? Like, are you introducing to your daughter, like, what are there any changes that's going on? Because you said family, and that's struck a nerve. So like, are you doing that for her as well? Or, I mean, is she on your same thing?
Yeah, so
Journey, rather?
Like, just to also to comment on your mother feeding you healthy, my mom did the same thing. But like how Prince said, like, y'all grew up in a Christian home. You didn't see your daddy gamble. I didn't see my mom eat chips. I didn't see my mom eat
Yeah,
a bunch
your
of
mama,
fast food. I
she
didn't
fine.
I didn't see her do that type of stuff, but I did it in the dark. I would go to school, buy things. So it stemmed, like, I recall I was always
like
a
this.
slim kid, always just, I never gained a ton of weight until I gained like a little weight around like 19, 20-ish, but still never excessively.
Yeah,
So
wow.
I started like sneaking food as a very like young child, because I knew my mom would not allow it. So it's just like,
Yeah.
let me eat it at school.
That's true. I was doing that too.
I was
That's true.
sneaking
That's
food,
true.
but that became a problem to the point where I want to sneak everything. I want to sneak all the food.
So with you knowing those habits that you had, are you like, is there, like I said, is your daughter on your journey, or like,
Yeah.
is it kind of, she's growing up, so you just kind of let her do whatever?
No.
Or no?
No, especially now that I became just a certified nutritionist, I'm just becoming even more stricter, because
That's good.
it's serious, and it's sad because fast food is cheaper. I get mad every time I go. Like, I
Oh
bought
my gosh.
Honeycrisp apples. I love me some Honeycrisp apples. They were $10 a bag. You think I want to buy that? No. But yeah, it's so much easier to eat bad. But I was just like, I try not to force like all the way on her, because I don't want her to have a complex.
Yeah,
But at
okay.
the same time, I'm explaining to her, this is healthy.
yeah,
this
this
is
a
like,
better
you
choice.
see me like, and it's
Yeah.
so sad because this is like the first time she's ever like seen me in shape. She's turning 9 and she's always seen me big. So it's just like, she's never seen, this is like a new her. Like, even with me, because she knows mom goes to the gym 2 hours a day. And then after that, I'll walk about 4 miles in the afternoon, and she rides
know
her
that's
bike with
right.
me. So it's just like, it's new
that's
to
so
her.
good.
But still, like, I love, it's like, I have to break the cycle. I have
Yes.
to implement healthy habits, like healthy, long-standing habits
And
as
it's
well.
never too late.
It's
It is never
too
too
late.
late to show our children what needs to be shown. It's never too late to
Exactly.
introduce the right things to them. It's never too late to
Exactly.
start.
No,
period.
it's not. And that's what people, Aria, that's good, because that's what people literally need to know. Because I started to go on a
Oh, no, you
tangent,
good,
but I
you
had
good.
someone literally overhearing my story in the gym, and they were just like, I really need to introduce my mom to you because my mom thinks it's too late. I was like, no, it's not.
No. As long as we have breath in our lungs and we can move, it ain't never too late. It's never too late to make a better choice. So we don't always have to. One thing about me, whenever I start my my health journey or my weight loss journey, it always starts with me in the kitchen first. I don't go to the gym.
Oh my gosh.
I do not start in the gym. I go to my kitchen first. And when I know that I got a hold of the food, my food intake and what I'm doing, then I go to the gym. Now, one time it was after I had Adonis, I was really struggling. So got a lot older now, and I had this baby. So now I got a hyperactive thyroid. My A1C is super high. My high blood pressure was off the chain. I was on anxiety medication that was making it worse. I went back to the doctor and I was like, hey, I said, do you have the next step of this anxiety medication that I was on? And because my thyroid was off, because my eating, everything was off. And she said, that is the highest that we gave you. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? And then even at that moment, it was like, you got to get off of this, because I was under so much stress. Not only the stress that I was under just after having a baby, I just had this baby in 2020, and it was just a lot going on. As everybody knows, a lot going on in everybody's life. And so now my body is reacting and responding.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking that because I'm thinking that because I'm under stress, that is causing my thyroid to be overactive, but it was actually my food. It was just a plethora of things. And so I called a trainer. I hired a trainer and I said, I need help because I can't do this on my own. I can't even stay out the kitchen. I can't even manage that. So I said, maybe if I spend some money on a trainer, then I won't want to waste my money. And I'm going to do right. And I did. And that's what ultimately had me do right. And when I tell you that everything shifted, like when I went back to the doctor to do my blood work, my blood pressure was regulated. I no longer had a hyperactive thyroid. My A1C, everything was regulated because I changed, overall.
Yes.
But going back to what I said, it's like you got to get your food under control.
I just told
period
someone that.
Before screw the gym.
You know what I'm saying?
My gosh. You got to change the food
I just
first.
Told someone that.
Then go walk somewhere.
Yep. I literally just say, you lose weight, go to the kitchen. You want to build cardio and muscles, go to the gym. Cardio and muscles,
that
go to
part.
the gym.
So Prince
Farrakhan has said something about. He said you shouldn't be fat representing God.
And
so
I totally agree with that, because
it
it's
just
like
makes no sense.
Yeah, it's almost like if you look at like when you go to the doctor or when you go to a hospital. I have seen so many fat nurses and doctors.
Bless them.
So out of shape. It's like, what are you going to tell me that's going to help me? They say, well, you need to change your diet, and I'm like, what are you going to do?
So I want to know, are you, this was a question that I had for y'all. At any point did you feel like you was in sin? That it was a sin that you were that you weren't doing right? Like at any point did you like measure that up? Like, I wonder how God feels about this, or at any time?
I wasn't in church.
You don't really
I ain't
think
about
like that.
God.
You don't?
Like, no.
You don't really think like that. I would imagine like when it comes to food, you don't really think,
I
because
was like, when we
you're
gonna
like,
get this meal?
I have to eat.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But when you're doing stuff like you said, like I'm eating in the dark and I'm hiding, and then I just ate and I'm going somewhere else, and or however you were saying, it's like at some point, like when you know that you're doing wrong to your body, you don't feel like you're doing wrong towards God.
I feel like when you become more spiritual, then you see it in a spiritual way.
So
Yeah.
since we're talking about in a spiritual way, can you tell us like what was your your breaking point or your wake up call before you said, I can't do this no more and I'm never doing this again?
That was Mexico.
You want to talk about it? Like or just
Well,
briefly?
it was one of my commitments, like, because I knew I was supposed to stop before, because it was tearing up my marriage, and it burdened my wife to have to pay the stuff, the bills and everything that I was supposed to be paying. So it burdened her. She had to work more, and just me
Jesus.
watching her stress, it was killing me. And it was like, and then I was talking to myself like, man, but I'm making money, but I'm losing it too. So I was battling with that, you know what I'm saying? And it was that was kind of the breaking point, was just seeing her struggle more, you know, and knowing that she didn't go through this. We were flowing better when my finances were consistent.
I heard you say in a message that you ministered at KPM's night, you said that when you got stopped at Tijuana, that, you know, the Lord was dealing with you then, and you was like, God, if it's not about the gun, then what is it about?
Yeah, because he showed me it wasn't about the gun.
And so he showed you that it was about this, that it was about your, what?
It was about my mentality. And not necessarily gambling per se, specifically, but it was my mentality, the way I thought. And if it's not gambling, it's going to be something else. You know what I'm saying? So I had to change the way I think. And
Okay,
and
that's good. That's real
it
talk.
came to, gambling overwhelmed my life. And it's not just gambling, because a lot of people can gamble. You could leisurely gamble, if that's a word, leisurely.
I guess.
If you can
Bless
gamble,
them.
if you can gamble, and it just be leisure. A lot of people can do that. They can go spend $100.
gosh.
Don't mind if they lose or win, and go home, and it's nothing. But if you have an addictive nature,
like, I feel like I'm not.
then
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, it can
Yeah.
become a god. You know what I mean? And then you're worshiping that, and you don't even know that you're
And
worshiping
it's
that.
gonna overwhelm your life, your
life.
life, because your wife too. Shoot,
Elmer Fudd.
it's gonna
Overwhelm
overwhelm
my
your
wife.
life because all you're thinking about is getting back to that thing.
Yeah, but the main thing with me was that I made a commitment to God that I wouldn't do it again, and then I broke that commitment. That was the main thing. And God specifically showed me that when I was in that prison cell in Tijuana. But so when I got out of prison the first time, and I actually went to prison because I had a gambling addiction, which caused me to commit
And
a
it
crime.
caused you to.
And when I came home, it continued. Nobody even knew. It's like, just because you take me away from it don't mean that it stops.
Ooh,
It has to be broken.
Jesus.
Prison helps you create better crimes. That's all it does. It doesn't rehabilitate you.
That's crazy.
So when I came home, it continued. So it came to the point which made me stop the first time, was when I gambled all my money. And then I prayed. I'm like, God, if you help me with my money back, I'll never gamble again. And when I went to that table, I went back to that crap table, and there was literally one dude there, and he hitting all my numbers. All my numbers. I won all my money back plus some, and I stopped. It had been maybe 3 years since it was like literally cold turkey. I stopped, didn't go back to the casino. So as years went on, I started that business, and that went to trash. Like, it started good, and then it went to trash. And then the first thing that came to my mind is like, I'm not going to commit a crime. I don't want to go back to prison. So how can I make money quick legally? And I knew that gambling, I could do that. Although I knew I could lose, I knew that I made, a lot of money doing it. So I immediately went back, and I justified it in my mind. Like, man, God understands. He knows. It's like, God, I don't want to displease you, but I ain't perfect. You understand. And I started gambling again. And then it just, and I have to keep psyching my mind like, okay, it's not an addiction. I'm not addicted, because I can leave anytime I want, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm not coming here gambling as much as they are. I just justified and made excuses. So then when there was one time that I was in the casino, and I felt a hand touch my shoulder, and I thought it was just like one of my partners coming up, like saying, "What's happening? I'm here with you," type. I'm here to gamble too, type.
Yeah,
Like, what's up, bro? Tap my shoulder, and I looked behind me, and nobody was there. I'm talking about like
That's
if a hand touch your
No,
shoulder, like
I got you.
it wasn't like a little whiff, like
No, you felt
no,
a hand.
I felt a whole hand on my shoulder. When I look back, there's nobody right there. I'm looking around, and it made me like it kind of shook me, but I was in my mode because I'm winning. I'm like, dang, and I knew in my head, in my mind, in my head, in my heart, everywhere. I'm like, that was God, bro. That must have been an angel touching me. So then the guy, the same guy on a different situation, same guy, and this is how I know God was talking to me because I used to gamble at the Texas station. So that or at the Texas station and the Fiesta. So the time where I lost my money and prayed that prayer, I was at the Fiesta, and everybody knows that they tore that down, Texas Fiesta. So now I'm at the Santa Fe station. So I go there and I'm gambling. I'm winning. I'm racked up. Like I'm dancing, partying. So everybody starts leaving the table. And now I'm gambling like pretty much by myself, and I'm starting to lose. And I'm like, dang, man, I should have left when I was up. Which is the most popular phrase with gamblers. I should have left when I was up. So guess who walks up?
Who?
The same guy that helped me win my money back at the Fiesta.
Bless him.
And this is like years later. He walks up, and when I looked at him, like that original vow came to my heart. I'm like, oh my God.
Ooh, Lord.
It like hit me because I'm like, it's no way possible. It's 3:00 in the morning. It's no way this dude should be walking up. The same dude that helped me win my money back, that I made that commitment that day. It's the way it added up. I'm like, I knew God was talking to me. And it's like, I knew that where God wanted to take me, I can't take gambling with me. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
But I was fighting it. Mentally, I'm fighting it. You know, it's like, but I know how to make money. You know what I'm saying? I started building a strategy to make money and lose less. You know, so when the Mexico situation came up, and when they pulled us into that room, and you know they was trying to get the 20,000 from us, and all of that, I'm thinking like, because first when they first pulled us over, I got to praying. I'm like, God, you know I got this gun. I said, God, please, Jesus, help. And I was like, if you get us out of this, you know, I immediately went to it. Like, I won't gamble no more.
Wow.
Because I'm like, I ain't doing nothing else in my life. It got to be that. You know what I'm saying? I immediately went there in my mind. So they took us, fast forward, they take us to the prosecutor's room, and they like, you got 20,000? Nah. And then we eventually, you know, agreed up, you know, on the 10,000. In my mind, and they made it to where like, oh yeah, y'all for sure going home. As long as you bring that 10,000, y'all going home. So in my mind, I'm like that gambling thing ain't standing. I said, because if we getting out of here right now, I said it's because of the money. I said, God, you're not getting us out. It's the money that's getting us out.
Whoa.
I didn't say it out loud, but that's what I was thinking. So God said, okay, all right. So y'all held 48 hours. We go to court. We'll remand to custody. You're looking at 10 years.
Jesus.
And I'm like, oh my God. So that's when everything started hitting me.
Yeah.
And then going through the motions and all of that, I had to become broken.
Yes.
That was the first thing. I had to become broken. I had to be not willing to displease God on that level anymore. Yeah. And when I realized how God felt about what I was doing, you know what I'm saying? That's when God says, okay, you hear me. You hear me now. Yes. I needed to make sure before I let you out of here that you hear me. You know what I mean? And when I heard God, and when I knew that he was speaking to me, and when I decided that I know I'm going to obey, I know I'm going to keep those commitments, then God let me out. Because if I didn't, I would still be there. Wow. I had to hear him. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And I had to experience him on that level.
It's the becoming broken. You know, like people repent, you know, they call it jailhouse salvation and all of the things. And you say, I'm not going to do this anymore. And you make all of these, like, just like you say, just free vows you throw up there just so you can get over what you're getting over. But from the sound of it, it really takes, because like you said something, you said nothing could stop me.
Nothing could.
And it's almost like that's what addiction looks like. It's like it's like you have to have a God encounter, a really encounter to break you for you not to go back. We just said the other day, we was like, do you want to go to the movies? And Joanna was like, we're going to go where we're going to go. And he was like, well, I can't go because it's in a casino. He's already created boundaries for himself. I even told somebody not too long, well, this was a while back when I was on my weight loss journey. I was like, I said, I can't go out with y'all. I said, because it's like you guys make me eat bad. You know what I'm saying? Like when I be around certain people, it's funny, like especially my family. Like whenever I get around my family and we get to my mom's house, I have certain foods in my mind, donuts.
Did you just see what I said in the text about going to your daddy's house?
Oh yeah.
I can't. Like I walked in a month ago, I was like, nah.
And we just buy all of this stuff. And here's the thing, it goes bad. Because we don't be sitting up there like eating like that. But I know it's there. And so I know I'm thinking of drinking my dad's famous coffee. He needs to go in business. We're drinking his coffee and having a donut or having some type of sweets. And then we just eat. So it's certain people, even my sister, when she come over my house, I just think I'm supposed to make brownies or something. Certain people make me want to eat. But it's like you created boundaries for yourself, and I'm a witness to it, because you say I'm not going to the movies with y'all. We're either going to this movie because we can go right into the theater, or I'm not going with y'all because I'm not going in casinos. And I know it's important, like when you have an addiction, like you said, that addictive nature, you have to create boundaries for yourself. You can't even say, like, if McDonald's, we bring McDonald's up a lot, and it's because we know what's in it.
Right.
Like, I bought my child a cheeseburger one day, and I was like, this is how you eat the cheeseburger. I hadn't had a cheeseburger in years. I was like, this is how you eat it, because I wanted them to eat. I took a bite, and I was like, oh my gosh, I ate the whole cheeseburger. I was like, this is
cracking
how this
those
thing
cheeseburgers.
tastes. I was like, this is crazy. And so we bring it up because we know what's in it. But it's like when you create boundaries for yourself, if you know that this is where I have a problem, I can't say, well, I'm just going to have a small fry. You got to stay away from it.
Okay.
Like you, when we went out to eat with you that day, me and Joanna, we always get our same dessert. We know when we go to Lazy Dog, we getting our buttercream, we getting the extra strawberries and extra strawberry sauce.
I wanted it
and
bad.
You was like,
I feel
y'all
like,
go ahead.
I wanted
it's
it.
a boundary.
But
let me say this.
You didn't taste a little piece?
No, Arya, I wanted
Boundaries.
it bad.
I feel like
I
this.
applaud you for that.
I feel like if you are a disciple, if you consider yourself saved, you represent God.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? You and what you represent is like, if you have diabetes because of your diet, how can you represent God and God being a healer, but you're representing something? You know what I'm saying?
The complete opposite.
It's like,
That's
if you
what I
represent
said.
God, you have to, the places that you go and how you present yourself, that has to matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's like, because when people
love
see
it.
you, they can't see you like everybody else.
Yeah.
If you're supposed to stand out, you're supposed to be standing out. Otherwise, what do you think you're doing?
You said something earlier. You said, how is the nurse or the doctor going to tell me how I need to eat, what I need to do, and how is somebody going to at church going to be able to preach to me and they're overweight? You said that. I want to just put this out there, that we're not talking about people who have like conditions, because there are some conditions that are in people's bodies that cause that they may be on steroids.
Correct.
I had a family member that was on steroids for the majority of her life, and it caused
Could be
her
genetic.
to have weight. It did not mean that she was eating bad. It meant that she was on steroids.
Some
You know what I'm
people
saying?
have been big since they were children,
Yeah.
kids, and they have no choice.
Yeah, but
It just runs
and
in
so
the
we're and
genes.
so we're not talking
Yeah.
about that. We're talking about those that you know what's up.
You know.
Right. I seen this pastor one time at IHOP. He had about 19 plates at his table, and he was by himself. I'm like, it got to be somebody else coming to help him eat that.
See?
And he was like picking off of each plate, little things here, little things there. I'm like,
I heard a pastor say this. He was very, very heavy. And he said, I'm on my way here. And he said, my flight was delayed. And he said, and do you know they told me because the weight of the plane was not able to do something. And so they made him, I think, move on a certain side of the plane or something like that, so
balance
that
it
it
out.
would not, so that the plane could be balanced. And they told him this, and he told us this.
And they probably made him pay for a whole
But it
row.
was like, but here's the problem: the devil is a lie. So
Always the devil.
it's not him.
You have to take
That
accountability for
we
your
have to take
actions.
accountability.
And I had to realize that.
Like if
Yeah.
a plane is being held up for me, I'm gonna take that as a sign. If they coming to me and they say, ma'am, the weight is off. We can't take off. So we're trying to figure this thing out because we want to get you and everyone else to their destination safely. You know what I'm saying? My life is changing that night. You know
I'm
what
like,
I'm
this
saying?
embarrassing. You get to looking back and everybody looking at you like, get off.
No way.
Like, nah, like, yeah, you gotta
I'm just
change.
saying that was a true story.
Like,
you know,
please.
but it's like it's not the devil. It's us.
you.
The Bible says, amen, that we are drawn away and enticed by our own lust.
We are the
so
problem.
the enemy just being the enemy. He's putting out the regular stuff that he do. I mean, some people he gonna fight a little harder. You know what I'm saying? Because he has an agenda to take you out. You know, there's an agenda for some of the kingdom kids.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's like he's just putting out what he put out, and it's up to us whether we gonna bite it or not. We're drawn away by our own what's inside of us, our own lust, and enticed.
It's like, do you ever like look at the church and how many people of the church die from diabetes,
I'm sick of it.
cancer,
I'm sick of it. I'm
yeah.
fed up.
and all these diseases that we
I'm
could
fed up.
possibly avoid?
Avoid, but we
Because
won't
of the
put down
diet.
the food.
You know what I'm saying? And people don't see food as a sin because
They
they say,
don't.
oh, we have to eat.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just like gambling, technically, it's not a sin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's unnecessary.
Just like we could say that, you know, this is always a controversial subject, drinking. You know, there are certain people that they can drink a glass of wine or something like that, and it's not a sin for them. You know what I'm saying? But it is a sin for you. And because like myself, I don't mind even saying that I do have an addictive nature. So when I get caught up in doing something, there's something in me that once I like something, I just go
for
like
it.
so hard. It could be a person.
Hello.
Like my husband has to wake me up. He'd be like, "You don't think you spend a little bit too much time with them?" You know, because he knows like my nature is like I'm just always in it. So I know I can't do drugs because I'm gonna be a crackhead. I can't drink because I'm gonna be an alcoholic. I can't gamble because I'm gonna be addicted.
Can't do nothing but
I
love
can't do
Jesus.
nothing. You
Let
know what
me
I'm saying?
be
I
addicted
can't
to
even
the
play with
Father.
it because the thing is we have to see things as believers that they are open doors. You have to
are.
create. My boundary is just trying to walk in holiness. You know what I'm saying? That ain't me being deep. That's me trying to keep myself saved from busting hell wide open, saved from myself.
And things
you know?
like that, you make a God.
You do.
If it's anything or anybody that comes before God, you make them your God.
Yeah,
you
and,
make
and
it
there's
your God.
and
Whatever
there's
it
a
is.
root to everything too. There's a root to all of these addictions out there. Like I'm seeing, and I haven't done any research. We just here talking, you know, about our experiences and stuff. But I've experienced some things just with family members and different ones, and you know, I've seen what a gambling addiction can do to a family. It was gambling that I dealt with, not me gambling, but that I dealt with a person that it introduced anxiety for the first time to me. You know, it introduced suicide. Prostitution was introduced. There was a lot of crazy stuff that came in that situation that, you know, caused, you know, things to happen. You know what I'm saying? Drinking, because of what was going on with somebody else, it caused me to drink. You know, and then now I see myself face. So it's like a, what am I trying to say? A root to the reason why people do things. I see people who have, a lot of the women that I've talked to that have drinking addictions, it's because they're trying to escape because they don't like the relationships that they're in. I mean, this is just what I'm seeing on a regular basis of somebody that is drinking is trying to escape something. Somebody who is eating, they're fighting with some type of depression. It's something that's stemming from somewhere. Somebody who has a gambling addiction, they're addicted to continuing to to not be broke. You know, there is a root.
What's crazy is that there's been times before where I said in my head I'll be gambling and then I'll be winning and then I'll start losing, and in my head I'm saying if I lose all this money, I'm gonna kill myself.
See,
And it'll be
How
in
do
my
I know?
head. You know what I'm saying? And there's been times where I lost all my money and I went, left the casino, got in the car, and was trying to figure out how I was gonna kill myself without actually feeling it. And I'll just be sitting in the car and I'll be sick of it. Like, I can't keep doing this. I gotta win. Not I gotta stop gambling. I gotta win. You know what I'm saying? So it's a continual. It's like never going to stop. If you keep gambling, you're always, whether you're winning or losing, you're going to keep doing it. You're never going to stop until you are tired. Like, I can't live my life like this no more. It's tearing my family apart. It's tearing my marriage up. Whatever it is, you have to get tired.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. It's, you saying this, and we're going to wrap it up shortly, but when you were saying this, you made me think of a story you told me about a man. You were doing some Uber and you picked him up. He ain't had nowhere to go. He had gambled his money, lost his family. And then you also was telling me about someone else who had a drinking addiction that they kept going to jail. They killed somebody for drinking and driving, went to jail, got free, killed somebody else, went free. It's like, when are you we releasing you?
It's bondage.
It's a spirit connected.
Bondage.
It's the spirit connected. Because this guy literally, he was in prison for DUI with death. He did about 10 years, got out, got locked back up to jail for DUI. And while he was on bail, he got another DUI and killed somebody else. Now he's in prison for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? Because he couldn't stop. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, it won't happen to me. It won't happen to me.
It's always going to happen. Where's the cameras? It's going to happen to you.
And is.
It's always going to happen to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You are not
so
exempt.
if there's anything, yes, we're not exempt.
You're not exempt.
There you go,
That's what I
girl.
said.
We're not.
Yeah, you're not at all. That's why my heart goes out to so many people that are big, that want to lose weight. It's just like, I know where you're at. I know how it feels, because not only was I addicted to food, it like trickled into me hoarding and laziness. Like, my room was just surrounded by clothes on top of clothes, and that's not normal. Like, the world says cleanliness is next to godliness, and it's true, because filth, dirt, not normal.
Did you ever have expired snacks?
You know what? Shut up.
No, I
You're
ate them
so
all.
flipping annoying.
I ate them all.
Speaking of snacks, it's like, if you want to change, we got to stop buying the snacks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I literally will go. So lately, this is me,
Bless her.
No, lately, the Pringles have been on sale.
Arya, why don't you try the ones that are not as bad? They're the Good and Gather.
Good, and how about not?
Okay.
Because it's like, if I can't have the real thing,
You sound like me. Arya, look.
then
that's why
I can't have it.
So that's why I tell people all the time. That's why I didn't eat y'all's little dessert, because just like, I want it all. I want it
See?
now.
At least
so
you're
I'm
saying.
not going to, and it's so crazy because I completely went cold turkey with cutting out everything. A lot of people say, oh, that's not healthy. Oh, you shouldn't do that. But it worked for me because I have an addictive nature.
You're not healthy.
Hello?
Like, what's going on?
Hello?
Why do we tell people who are trying to lose weight, who are trying to get better, do better for
they were like,
themselves,
don't do
that
You
you're
have
not
to
healthy?
Ease into it. I said, ain't no easing.
Ease?
I done eased and snacked enough. It's time to
You
cut
ain't
it out.
easing to McDonald's. Ease
I mean,
into-
sometimes you just gotta avoid certain aisles to go down.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You know
And
that,
so-
that aisle is going to tempt you. Don't even go down.
Don't
Don't
have
even
it.
go
Don't have it
down.
in your home.
Just
don't
and that's
have
what
it in
I'm
your
saying.
home.
Like,
There's been times I
bought,
walk past donuts
Listen.
and I love donuts, and I just looked and I'll grab a box and then you know what? And I'll throw them back. I'll say no, and I'll look at the donuts and say no, you ain't doing me like that, and I'll walk off.
But you
You gotta be in control.
That is me.
And
like,
we
it's
can't use our
serious.
children for excuse saying
these
that
for the
I'm buying
kids.
this for the kids. Nah,
And
you're buying
Adonis
it for
don't even
you.
eat half of the things you eat, so please. Adonis refuses.
Well, honestly, Adonis do eat chips. He eat chips.
Man, that brother eat honeycombs with no milk.
Yeah, he's a little cruncher, but yeah, it's a serious addiction because I bought these Pringles. They were the ranch ones. But this particular box or whatever, they had extra ranch seasoning. So I ate some. I was like, oh, they did that. So I went back for more. I bought another one, and I was like, "Where's the ranch?" Because it wasn't the same seasoning on that. And I said, "This is the devil." I need to stop. I need to stop. But bringing them to the home, like just create the boundaries. Stop bringing the mess in your house.
Quickly, that's crazy how it does that, because something will make you get something to try. Like you will see the name of something. You be like, oh, I'm gonna try those.
Yeah.
And then it's so good, and it'll make you go back.
The devil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's never the same.
It's the same thing.
Every time you go back, you
It's
still,
the
because
same-
you're trying to
you
get
still
that taste again.
But listen, it's the same thing, and I know it's the same thing as gambling.
It is.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Because
saying.
when you
Yeah.
win,
Drugs.
it's gonna make you,
You
go
go
back.
You go
And then you're gonna lose your
back.
money. And then now you're gonna go try to chase your money that you lost. And then now it's a
Yes.
continual chase.
Yeah.
Once you taste it.
Once you taste it.
That's
taste
why
and
that's
see,
why
my
from the
God.
beginning when she tasted. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning, the taste is what brought the whole world down with Eve.
That apple.
You know what I'm saying? It brought the whole world down.
What's your apple?
Yeah, you better look. We got we got to come back. So look, if you guys could say anything to your audience right now, and I just want to give you a moment. If you could say anything to your audience, what do you want to tell them just about your experience, or what do you want to? How do you want to help your audience? Like, what do you want to tell them? I'll start with Prince since you talk about it.
Well, I feel like what you said, you have to build boundaries, because if you have no boundaries, then you're gonna do whatever, and then you're gonna get so deep that by the time you recognize how deep you are, you're not even gonna know how to climb out. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna be praying and crying like I was, praying and crying, and in front of the
Because
casino.
you was about to lose everything.
In my car, crying, praying, God help me. I don't want to, looking at the casino, like I don't even want to go in there. God help
Jesus.
me. And then I get out and go in there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just that stronghold that holds you.
Major.
But now it's like I ain't even stepping foot in there.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like even when I went to the Century 16 Theater at the Santa Fe, you can go to the movie theater just by walking in, like you can go to the bowling alley just by walking in. Now you got to go through some extra doors to actually get to the casino. So usually I would pay for my my tickets, like, and I'm saying now usually I would pay for my tickets, my the movie tickets online, so I can just go in and they can scan whatever. But this particular day, I'm like, I don't want them charging me that little convenience fee, so I'm gonna just go buy the tickets. So I go in there to buy the tickets, and I saw the casino. I'm like, oh my God, my heart dropped. I'm like,
Jesus.
am I even supposed to be here?
Oh my God.
I ain't doing that no more. I said, because if I'm gonna go to this theater, I'm just gonna walk through. So I'm gonna pay that extra little $5 or whatever, so I don't even have to go over there. Yeah. And if God does something in my mind and something happens or whatever the case, and He said I don't even want you going there, then I won't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
right.
usually I just been going to the AMC because
your ultimate desire is to please God and to make sure
that's
that
it.
God is taking you where He wants to take you without whatever.
and because I know I have an addictive nature, certain things I just don't put myself in the company
Yeah,
of.
it's certain sense when you guys go when God delivered you from something, you got to change the people who you hang around, your conversation. You know, there's certain places you can't go because the smell reminds you of where you were. The smell make you want to go back and do something. It's just certain places you could be driving down the street and you'd be like, wow, this area. It just is familiar to me. You know what I'm saying? You got to just keep going, you know? So, yeah. So I love that. Derica, what do you want to tell your audience?
But it's kind of crazy because even though it's two different addictions, but they just correlate all the same because it's demonic spirits. So it's just all together. So, I mean, I'm really on board with Prince, like all the way, breaking cycles, really admitting that you do have a problem. Well, I know for sure that opens the door to surrender. I had to completely surrender to God and acknowledge that I did have a problem and that I did need his help because I was so used to being in control and wanting to be in control that I lost control. So it was just like I had to fully surrender to God and admit that I had a food addiction, and on top of a list of other addictions I have yet to share with the world yet, but it was just like a build up of stuff. But breaking the cycle, admitting that you have an issue, a problem, and that you need help, and setting boundaries. Really, I've been on this journey probably like 15, 16 months now. And one of my secret pleasures that I really loved was a king size Twix. And I would eat those almost every day, just being honest. And I have not had a Twix in 16 months. And I feel like it's so crazy. Like, I feel like I went to AA or something because it's just like I was so addicted to those. And when I pass those up now, it's just like I remember when. But yeah, it's crazy how I used to like go to Target and just like ring up Twix like every day, just eating myself to death. But yeah, breaking cycles, surrendering to God, and just really admitting that you have a problem. And hire me because I was 300 pounds, 315 pounds to be exact. And I'm now a certified personal trainer and nutritionist and a group fitness instructor. So.
Okay, I know that's right. You turned your what was a previous
pain into
addiction.
purpose.
Yes,
and yes, I have my own business as well. It's called Powerhouse Fitness. So yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So hit her up. She knows the things and she's a witness. Can we just put her before and after up one more time? No, we just want to put up, so it can align with, so people can see the changes that are taking place, because you're still on your journey, as you spoke earlier.
Yeah, I want to lose 25 more pounds.
Yeah, and guess what? Do your thing.
You was looking like a nice little bush.
Yeah, very nice.
Little
very
green
nice.
on.
Look, it's so crazy because Joanna took that picture. She was like, and she had told my sister, she was like, I did not know you was that big.
Wow.
And we were in California.
Wow.
And I literally, on that picture in particular, I lost 20 pounds by that time. No one could tell because I was so big.
Dang. Wow.
No one could tell.
Well, look, you guys, we hope that you have enjoyed what you heard today. We hope that you can share it with anyone who you feel that this conversation will bless them. We're talking about breaking cycles. We're talking about addiction, dealing with family and addiction. And you guys did talk about how it affected your family a little bit. I wanted to dive into that, but we hope that it really blessed you. And if you want to tell your story, hit me up. Also inbox me and let me know, like, what are some things that you want to hear talked about? What are some things that you see going on in the world, going on in life, that you feel that can make an impact on other families to help them turn around? Because what we want to do, we're changing lives.
Yes.
We're changing lives. I'm letting you guys be a part of my world, because this is my family. Be a part of my world, and we are sharing our testimonies and our stories, so that we can impact people's lives, and hope that this conversation that we had can wake somebody up and say, enough is enough.
Yes,
like, enough. You got to get tired of being sick and tired of being tired. You just got to be tired and turn it around and do something about it and say, God, what must I do to be saved? Literally. And I'm not talking about just the spiritual. I'm talking about for real. For like, what must I do to be saved from myself, so that I can be all that I need to be for God, and to be able to ultimately fulfill his purpose without those, like my mom used to say, idiosyncrasies. You know what I'm saying? So we hope you guys enjoy. We thank you guys, everybody who tuned in. We hope you got a laugh, a cry, all of the things. And we'll see y'all. Thank you guys so much for your transparency, for being here.
Absolutely.